two particles can communicate instantly across the universe. It's called quantum entanglement, and it sounds like it breaks physics.
This is just for Stocks and Giggles, and we're your hosts, Bull and Bear. Let's break it down. But first, we want to give a shout out to the person who brought up this topic, something that we thought was interesting. Nemo Drac on YouTube, he commented on the video we had about IBM and quantum computing. So now let's jump into quantum entanglement a little deeper and talk about it. So, Bull, I'll talk to you. I'll throw it to you if you want to break it down a little bit more, and then we can dive into it.
Yeah, so I think Nemo Drac was talking about communicating at a distance and how, super advanced civilizations could use quantum entanglement to communicate over long distances. So I guess first we need to explain what quantum entanglement is, and then we can talk about whether that's possible or not. Quantum entanglement is best, if you imagine two coins, and you have a coin, I have a coin, and we're on opposite sides of the world, right? And I flip my coin and you flip your coin.
Mm-hmm.
Both coins, it's undecided whether they're heads or tails yet. But when my coin lands on heads, your coin will be tails, right? And it's supposedly, instant communication where, that's a simplified version, but the particles share attributes, and the attributes of both particles are undecided until you observe one, and then its attributes are decided, and then the attributes of the other particle is also decided. I know it sounds crazy, but we can talk about why that is.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like a little bit of like Isaac Newton's one of his laws, like every action has an equal and opposite reaction. You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about? But this is on the quantum level, which additional insight on that, that's atoms, electrons, protons. That's extremely small things that we can't see with the naked eye, but it's basically like a whole world going on in there. Like think of like
right.
Ant-Man when he gets small in the Marvel movies, and it's like a whole nother world. But scientists are trying to see how to be able to manipulate this so we can do things, and that's what they're working on with things like quantum computing, and this could really change the game. If we are able to do that, which we're not. It doesn't seem like we're there yet.
Oh, no, we're not there yet, but I mean, like, we're making progress. There's already, a few things that we're seeing, like utility for, quantum stuff in general. Like you're saying, things work different on the quantum level. I remember, hearing about, these things called like quantum leap, which we know more about it today. But when I first heard about it, it
Great
pretty much
show, by
sounded
the
like
way.
teleportation, and like, but anyways, because things work differently, as we learn more about these, about the quantum level, we can do more things. So like we're talking about quantum encryption, which is the next level of encryption, super secure messaging and quantum computing. And, there's this idea of a quantum internet, which I don't know if we have time to talk about what all that means today, but um, where do you think, where do you see the most promise in this technology, or what are you looking forward to here?
Well, I love Quantum Leap is one of my favorite shows, so we could figure out a time travel like that. that would be that would be amazing. But yeah, I mean, I think and this seems but for real though, with time traveling, like or even anything where we could alter time, which that is pretty far fetched, but this seemed like it's up that alley. It would take a long time, but if we could ever get to that point where we can figure out how to play with these atoms and protons to be able to either alter time or even take like video calls and stuff to the next level where it's even more realistic, or people are able to get from place A to place
that's
B even faster.
that's funny that you're talking about like altering time, and then you're like, or we could just make video calls, more efficient. But
Yeah,
yeah, no,
as
I
a
think.
story, I was trying to lower double down a little bit.
But again, this is like why I love, Nvidia, is because they're doing things like this. They're, central to quantum computing, but they're also, all this stuff is just like figuring out how our universe works, and that's exactly what they're doing. And also shout out to IBM and their, advancement with their quantum computers as well. But I just think it's all cool that we're figuring out more about how the universe works.
Yeah, and I have and of course, this show is stock related, so I have a few companies too that are
Yes.
dabbling in the quantum area, and I just want to list them all. So like IonQ, so they build quantum computers, and they basically using trapped ions, and
Hmm.
they use entangled quantum states to perform calculations.
Hmm.
And they're publicly traded. Rigetti Computing, superconducting quantum chips is what they make, and they compete with big techs in quantum hardware. D-Wave Quantum is another one. They focus on quantum optimization machines. If you aren't familiar with those, you're probably familiar with the next few companies. I know Bull mentioned IBM, of course. They're one of the leaders in quantum computing. There's also Google, who's dabbling in quantum. And there's also Microsoft, who's dabbling in building quantum software. And then, of course, NVIDIA and Intel are both working on the chips. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. So, I mean, I think those companies have promise and they're different. This is all early stage. So, one of the best ways to invest in this, you mentioned the first three, Ionic, Rigetti. I think you mentioned D-Wave Quantum.
Yep.
Those are the ones that they don't really have revenue. They're not profitable. Then, the next ones you mentioned are some of the biggest, most profitable companies in the world, NVIDIA, Google. Intel's not doing so great right now, but still, these are companies that like you can invest in them for other reasons besides quantum computing. For example, NVIDIA you can invest in because of AI or self-driving or quantum computing or whatever it is. Like NVIDIA has a million businesses that give it promise, and this is just one of those. Same with Google. So I think that's really the takeaway is that this is very early stage industry, but there are ways to invest.
Yep. There are ways to invest. There's companies still doing a lot of research, and like Bull said, it's very early stage, but it's definitely something that, I mean, once it breaks through, it's probably going to be. Would you say this will be the next AI?
Here's my genuine thoughts on this because I always say, NVIDIA is working on AI, self-driving, and quantum computing. I think self-driving is going to be the next big explosion, and then, quantum
And
computing
then
road maybe
yeah.
20 years from now or something. But I mean, who knows? There might just be one big breakthrough, and we find one, super useful way to use this stuff, and then yeah, that's
All
all
it
it takes.
takes is
Like
one.
next ChatGPT.
All it takes is one. Well, no, that was cool. Yeah, I mean, that was a fun topic. And if you
Yeah.
guys have any other topics that just that you want to discuss, that you want us to discuss, please feel free to put it in the comments. Let us know. We're happy to make a video about it.
Yes, sir. That's all we have for you guys today, and thanks for joining us. Remember,
This is all just for stocks and giggles.
if you enjoyed that, you'll like this video too.